Chapter 772. A black crack zipped out from the tip of Wilbur's sword, making a beeline for Engie. It was an attack that cut through the air, the black line ripping a line in the air with an immense power that threatened to cut through anything. However, it was still absorbed by the whirlpool formed by the spell spheres. Wilbur was quite surprised. Was Engie's domain really this powerful? She even managed to withstand the Lost Slayer. The bone-chilling aura grew by the second, making everyone else suffocate and tremble. Peace and Orzo laughed wildly at the sight of Wilbur's shock. It's no use struggling, I'll tell you that. Time to pay for taking Master Jarvis' life, the two of them shouted. Engie's expression grew even more venomous. I don't just want you dead. I want every person around you to be tortured to death too. You owe it to me. I don't owe you shit. Your son tried to kill me, so he deserved to die. Wilbur roared. Quaternary form. Flame of the Imperial Dragon. Wilbur's sword whipped through the air, and a terrifying stream of dragon's flames charged toward the spell spheres. The immense temperature of the flames torched the ground at once, causing the surrounding plants to wilt. Both flames of completely opposite nature collided at once. The whirlpool formed by the spell spheres slowed down under the assault of the dragon's flame. The dragon's flame shot mercilessly into the whirlpool, and the latter was almost about to stop turning. Both forces were neck and neck. Fine cracks began to appear in the air around the collision of their attacks, letting out explosive sounds. Engie let out a howl, and a jet-black stream of spiritual energy surged out of her scepter before entering the spirit spheres. The whirlpool in the middle of the spheres began to turn. Once again, the dragon's flames ended up being absorbed bit by bit until it was completely gone. Wilbur's expression darkened even more. Engie's powers were definitely far beyond what a human being could take. They contained some power of the universe's laws, which meant that they were above any other form of power. Despite the fact that Wilbur's last attack was called the Flame of the Imperial Dragon, Wilbur himself was not actually part of the Dragon Tribe, and the flame was merely an imitation of what the real flame of the Imperial Dragon was. Pearson Orzo laughed even harder at the sight of his flames getting sucked up. Let's see what else you've got, you piece of shit. I can't believe you're supposed to be the strongest in the cultivator's circle. What a joke. The two cultivators threw out one insult after another, looking completely at ease. Even Eileen, who was watching from afar, turned solemn at the sight. She knew a thing or two about how powerful Engie was, but not the full extent of her powers. No expert would reveal the full extent of their powers to others. Engie's powers definitely exceeded Eileen's expectations. Eileen could only pray that Wilbur had more tricks up his sleeve, or she was going to have to do something. Of course, Engie was truly a difficult opponent to deal with. On top of that, Eileen might have a difficult time explaining herself to the Kiwanis Club if she were to keep going. Faye, who was lying in Eileen's arms then, saw the solemn expression on her face. Eileen, please, promise me you won't let Wilbur die. Eileen lay Faye on the ground gently with a smile. I had made up my mind since the first day I saw him. He hasn't fulfilled his fate yet, so there's no dying for him before that. Many more important things await him. She then took out a red potion bottle and marched off to the battlefield. Just then, the spell spheres got within 5 meters of Wilbur. A terrifying suction force seemed to pull at Wilbur's body, threatening to rip him apart. Wilbur let out a cry, the runes on his body lit up, and spiritual flames soared into the sky as his feet took root.